A federal appeals court says the SEC must review Grayscale's bid to convert its Bitcoin trust into an ETF. The trust issuer manages the world's largest cryptocurrency fund and first applied for the conversion back in October of 2021. Let's break it down with Yahoo Finance's Alexis Keenan and David Hollerith. And Alexis, I want to go to you first on this. What do we know about how this has played out so far in the courts, and what does this signal next?
Yeah, so this decision, it's coming from an appellate court, so a very high court just under the Supreme Court in D.C. And what this court is saying is that the SEC has to go back and review its rejection of this spot ETF. Now, the SEC has already approved several futures ETFs for Bitcoin, but hasn't done so in this capacity. So it's saying that this decision that the SEC made, that it was arbitrary and capricious. And when the court says that, what they mean is that the agency has abused its discretion, right? That it could have come out another way. So it wants the SEC to go back and take a look at this. So today, a win for Grayscale, getting a reconsideration of this effort that it's been making for this conversion.
Wow.
And David, I want to bring you in here in terms of the reaction from the Bitcoin community and even the movement that we've seen in the Bitcoin price so far this morning. What are your big takeaways?
I mean, yeah, I think if you look at the Bitcoin chart right now, it's risen. It's about 4%, up 4% on the day. But in the last hour, sort of after the court decision, it rose 5%. So, really what we're seeing is generally investors in the industry are taking this in stride. For a little bit larger context, this is a different issue than some of the other things that the industry is dealing with the SEC. But there's been sort of a clash between crypto businesses and the federal securities regulator. And so anything like this is sort of, at least in terms of sentiment, is sort of investors seeing it as a win against the regulator and sort of offering them more room to sort of have crypto products, Bitcoin ETFs, or even just the listing of other crypto assets as approved in the U.S. for investors. So it's a big win.
And David, before, obviously, we know that any sort of good news will usually send Bitcoin up. But if you had to sort of temper expectations as to sort of what happens next and what people should really make of this, obviously, this is just one step in this. What would the takeaway be there?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think first, I think it's fair to point out that it's hard to understand what the SEC can do at this point, given that sort of their argument has been rejected. They will have to come up with some new argument for why they cannot approve a Bitcoin spot ETF, or in this case, convert the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust into an ETF. But that being said, even the SEC has been more amenable to listing Ether future products, which are sort of another topic going on. So it seems to me like this, to temper expectations, this all takes more time. And this is not like a clear approval, but it does up chances for a Bitcoin spot ETF. And I think, some of the excitement about that, it's hard to judge what a product like that would mean for investors. But we do know with the futures, the Bitcoin futures listings in 2021, it sort of corresponded with a large rally for the asset class.
And Alexis, there were a lot of other companies that were looking to kind of push this forward, at least this court ruling. What do we know about the companies that stand to benefit? Even as we were showing our viewers, some of the companies that are already seeing a price reaction in their stock, there were some big names that were also pushing for this ETF to move forward too.
Yeah, I think Bitwise was one of them that was involved in this. Okay. And there are others. But look, as David said, this will take some time. Mm-hmm. This will have to go through a complete review. And whether or not eventually it will be right for even the Supreme Court, we'll have to see.
Absolutely. All right, we're taking a look at shares of some of those companies that would be big beneficiaries supposedly here, and we'll see exactly how this plays out continuously. Thanks so much.